I think the financial markets are way behind on the whole issue of sustainability, and I think that's partly because companies have had to change because actually they are dealing with the realities of life. They're not dealing with money, they're dealing with supply chains, they're dealing with the problems of agricultural produce, of supplies of raw materials. They live in the real world. And also they tend to deal with customers, and customers are increasingly demanding change and about responsibility and transparency. And also because corporates are understood. We understand what a company is. Most of us work in companies. We understand they're selling products. We understand where they get their products from. There's a certain knowledge. Come to the financial markets. No one understands them. They're hidden behind impenetrable walls. And also the people in them are divorced from reality. There's very little pressure. The civil society, NGOs, don't understand the financial market, so they tend to keep clear on them. Individuals don't have a clue how money moves around, don't have a clue about computer trading, they don't have a clue about what their pension funds really go into. So there's that classic thing. The whole financial markets are completely divorced from society in what they do, and they're divorced from society in people knowing, and they're living in their own bubble. So there's no pressure on them to change. They're very happy. They're making loads of money. They've done very well until recently, thank you very much. And they don't want anyone telling them what to do. And they think they've got the power. There's the whole culture of the masters of the universe. You know, we are the powerful people. Look how rich we are. Look how much we can do with our money. Look what the control we have on society. So much ego in there. Why would you want to change?
But how can we change that?
Well, we change that because firstly, we've got a moment in time where the financial markets are under the spotlight. You know, it might be that people don't understand, but they know that they pretty much screwed up the global economy, and actually they've got away with actually behaviours that in any other part of society would just not be tolerated. That's one thing. I think the other thing is you're starting to see a few leaders in the financial space who actually recognise that actually the game's up, and actually it's that the behaviour and the actions of the financial markets are driving us towards a precipice very, very quickly. And so there's a point at which actually you cannot, or a few of them have got to the point where they cannot deny the reality of the challenges being faced by society and the financial markets' relationship to that. And there's also recognition that if they don't change, at some point they'll be forced to change. It's what's happening in the corporates. If there's the threat of regulation coming in, better to change a little bit, better to recognise there is a problem and actually start to deal with it. But very little is happening. You speak to the leading companies and they say when you look at how their companies are valued, that all their sustainability work, which should be driving long-term performance, resilience, etc., is not being valued in actually the market value of those companies. And that's the problem, because until they start to get valued, you're not going to see a change in behaviour.
You think there's a big difference between the UK and the rest of Europe?
To be honest, my knowledge is not. I think one of in terms of is there how does the UK, what was the difference between the UK and Europe? I think the problem with the UK and the US is they went for the short-term profits. They went for the sort of, that drive to the bottom line. And I think you have other countries like even Holland, like the Nordic nations, that have taken a broader approach and actually haven't gone down that fiduciary duty. It's all about the money, it's all about the money. So I think the UK and US have a lot to answer for.